Hello all, I am Lavanya, Assistant Professor from the Department of English, VHNSNC College, Virudhunagar. Today in this class we are going to deal with Concord. So before getting into Concord, students you all must know what is the meaning for this word. So Concord is nothing but it deals with the relationship between the subject and the verb. The agreement between the subject and the verb. Only if the subject agrees with the verb and the verb agrees with the subject, the sentence which you are framing will be completely meaningful and it will be free from grammatical mistakes also. So today in this class we are going to see a list of rules and regulations related to Concord. So I hope you are all ready to listen. So what is subject and verb agreement? So what do we mean by it? Only if both the verb and the subject agrees in a sentence correctly, yes, you would be able to frame a meaningful sentence free from grammatical errors. You just look into the sentence. The subject and the verb play a vital role in the formation of a sentence. So just a simple sentence. So if you are framing a sentence means two things are more important. One is the subject and the other one is the verb. The relationship between the subject and the verb depends on two things, person and number. So depending upon the number of persons, the subject and the verb varies. If the subject is plural, then definitely the verb will be plural. If the subject is singular, then the verb will also be singular. And there are many such rules also. Look at the next sentence. The verb must be in agreement with the subject in regard to person and number. So just now I said it right. If the subject is singular, the verb should also be singular. So that's what has been repeated in this sentence. So just look into the example. Ram is a brilliant boy. So here what is subject? Ram. The name of the boy. Ram is the subject. And here what is verb? Is the verb. Since the number of subject here is just one person, we are using the singular verb is. Look into the next sentence. Ram and Sita are good at studies. Here we are having two persons, Ram and Sita. So these two persons, since it is more than one, here we are using the verb are. Since the subject is plural, we are using the plural verb here. So if the subject is singular, we have to use a singular verb. And if the subject is plural, then we are supposed to use the plural verb. Just a very simple basic rule of Concord. Now, we just look into the first rule. If you are framing a sentence using words like a good or a great deal of, yes, if you are framing a sentence using these words followed by a singular noun, then you are supposed to use only a singular verb. Just look into the sentence, a good / a great deal of followed by singular noun takes a singular verb. Just look into the example sentence. A great deal of money has been spent on medicines. So here in this sentence you have the word a great deal of, which is followed by a singular noun money. So many think that money is a plural noun, but friends, for your kind information, money is a singular noun. Since it is a singular noun and it is also followed by the word a great deal of, here we are using the singular verb has. Look at the next rule. A lot of, the greater part of, all and some take singular verbs when they denote amount or quantity and plural verbs when they denote number. So if you're framing a sentence using words like a lot of, the greater part of, all and some means, yes, if all these words represents amount or quantity means, then you're supposed to use a singular verb. And if it denotes number means, you're supposed to use plural verb. Is it confusing for you? You just follow the example, then it will be easy for you to understand. A lot of money is spent on food. Here we are using the word a lot of followed by a singular noun. Just now I said right, money is a singular noun. So that's why we are using the singular verb is, because here a lot of money denotes amount. Next sentence. All the milk was so. All the milk was so. Here milk is actually an liquid item, so it is an uncountable noun. And moreover we have the word all. So all plus milk followed by an uncountable noun, and that's why here we are using a singular verb was, because here the noun actually denotes the quantity. The next sentence, some of the boys have failed. Here the subject it denotes the number. Boys means they could be easily counted. It is a countable noun. So that's why here we are using a plural verb have. So if you're framing sentence using words like a, lot of and all followed by an uncountable noun means you are supposed to use only a singular verb. And if you're framing sentences with some and countable noun means then you are supposed to use a plural verb. I hope it's clear to all. Next, some nouns which are plural in form but singular in meaning takes a singular verb. So there are certain nouns which may appear to be plural but in meaning they are singular. See, for example, you all may be wondering, right? This rule is uh, might be not familiar to some. It may not be familiar to some. So just see. Here are we have a list of words. All these words ends with the letter S, but they are not singular and they may appear to be plural. Yes, for us they may appear to be plural, but in meaning they are actually a singular. So if you are framing a sentence using these words means, students, you are supposed to use only a singular verb. Just look into the sentence. The news is true. Politics is the business of his life. Measles is not a dangerous disease. So in all these sentences we have words like news, politics and measles. All these words ends with the letter S, but we have to remember just because it ends with the letter S it's not plural, and that's why here it is followed by a singular verb. Is it clear to all? Next, nouns like furniture, machinery, equipment, luggage, crockery, cutlery, clothing, etc. are uncountable nouns. So all these are uncountable nouns. They could not be counted easily. And so they do not have plural forms and they take singular verbs. So if you are framing a sentences using any one of these uncountable nouns means, then you are supposed to use only a singular verb and not a plural one. Just look into the example. The luggage was carried by a boy. Just a singular verb was. That furniture is old. You are using the singular verb again. All the clothing was clean. So here the clothing, again an uncountable noun, and that's why you are using the singular verb was. Looking to the next rule. Collective nouns like government, cabinet, committee, assembly, jury, crew, audience, family, public, etc. are called as group collectives. They are followed by a singular verb when the group is thought of as a single unit, but when individual members of the group are thought of, the plural verb is used. Yes, were you able to get the meaning of the sentence? See, for example, collective nouns, it always represents a group, not a single person. It always represents a group, and that's why we call it as a collection, a collective noun. So if you are framing sentences using any one of these collective noun means, you have to be very careful in it, because if the collective noun is taken as a whole, as a single unit means, then you are supposed to use a singular verb. If the collective noun is stresses upon each and every member in a group means, then you are supposed to use a plural verb. Yes, you just look into the example, you will get a clear idea. The government has made its stand clear. The committee has submitted its reports. So in both these sentences, the government and the committee, the whole collective noun is taken as a whole. We are not stressing upon each and every person in it. And that's why we are using the singular verb has. Look into the last sentence. The committee were divided on the question of increased DA for the employees. So here, the committee is not represented as a single whole unit, but instead it focuses on the employees, each and every employees in the committee. And that's why here we are using the plural verb were. So I hope now it's clear to all. Here we have a small tabular column which contains a list of collective nouns just for a general information for you all. So if you are representing a collection of people of singers means, how will we call them? A choir of singers, a band of men, a cast of actors. And for animals, a brood of hens, a flock of turkeys, a kennel of dogs. And for things, a bottle of milk, a cup of tea, and a bowl of rice. So instead of using the same word group for everything, if you are able to understand or know the collective nouns, it would be easy for us to frame sentences. Next, when a plural noun denotes some specific quantity or amount considered as a whole, the verb is singular. course, the noun may be plural, but if it is taken as a whole means, is not as an each and everything. Instead of getting into each and everything in the noun, if it is taken as a single unit means you are supposed to use only a singular verb. Just look into the sentence. 10 kilometers is a long run. So you may be wondering, 10 kilometers is a plural noun, but here we are using a singular verb yes. Next, so I have just inserted a GIF for you, something which is related to this example sentence. And the next example, 50,000 rupees is a large sum. So here the sum, the total amount may be large, but still, since it is taken as a single unit, the whole amount has been taken into a single unit. Here we are using the singular verb yes. And again, chief related to that. Next rule, nouns like means, headquarters, etc. are both singular and plural. So there are certain words which may be singular and plural at the same time. So by then, students, you are supposed to use only the singular verb. If certain words are confusing, means they may be singular and plural. So if you are framing a sentence using these words means, students, you are supposed to use only a singular verb. Just look into the example. There is no means of finding out what happened. So yes, singular verb. The headquarters, again, we don't know the headquarters, singular and plural at the same time. So that's why here we are using the word yes. The headquarters of the Southern Railway is in Madras. I hope this rule is clear to all. Next, cloth. The word in English, cloth. Always, if you are framing a sentence using the word cloth, students, you should remember one thing. The cloth is always plural and it takes plural verb. New clothes have been ordered. The next rule, the subject there may take a singular or plural verb according to the number of the real subject. So if you are framing a sentence using the word there means, so the verb may differ according to the number of subject you are using. If it is a singular subject, then you have to use singular verb. If it is a plural subject, then you have to use a plural verb. Look into the example. These are some apples on the table. There is a man at the station. So there are some apples on the table. So there are some apples means many apples are there, and that's why here you are using the verb are. The next sentence, there is a man at the station. Again, a sentence with there, but here you are talking about only one single man at the station, and that's why here you are using the singular verb yes. So these are all some of the simple rules of Concord. I thought that it's easy for you all to follow all my explanations and examples. So thank you all for your patient listening.